What's up, everybody? It's Keith at GhostCultMag.com. I am here. Somehow, I have made it back. Welcome to another edition of the Weekly Ritual, Ghost Cult Mag's rock and metal news show everywhere on the web. I am hanging out. This is your show too. Hope people are having a good week or had a good week. Not all my things are working, so I'm going to try to fix the technical difficulties before I jam into the rest of this thing. Give me 1 second here. Let's see. Of course. And yeah. So, yeah, I hope everybody's good out there. We have a rockin' show. Catch you up on everything you missed in the week that was of rock and metal. Here's the departments of the show. I do the greeting. This is it happening right now. I do some announcements, a little bit of metal history books for the last week that was. Then I go into the features that Ghost Cultists had in the last week, new interviews, big things, contest we're doing right now. That's really great. Then followed by the news rundown, metal festivals, and concert tours that got announced this week, as many as I possibly can. Then we give you the big highlights of all the rock and metal news this week. And then we bring it on home with a little New Music Friday, all the new stuff that came out. And then I do a little unboxing from my mailbag and or stuff that I picked up. And it has been a time. I got married 2 weeks ago today, and it still feels like it was yesterday. It's been pretty amazing, but also heavy, very heavy. I love my wife. She's the best. I haven't been feeling too well. I'm on like my 5th dose of Mounjaro, and I'm not sure if it's a question of me, either my sleep issues giving me some stomach problems, or it's the Mounjaro. Anybody who's on GLP-1s, let me know how you're doing on it. I am on a big health journey trying to get my shit together. I did not have my shit together for the longest time in my life. Because honestly, I didn't think I was going to be around. I was here for a good time, not a long time. And now I want to be around for a long time. So the joke's on me. I started a joke, and the whole world was laughing. That's right. I take a sip of my liquid death in my heavy temple koozie. Gabe is here. What's up, Gabe? Thanks for tuning in. I Love Gwar is here. Still having problems with, I don't know, my Instagram shit the bed. I'm going to give it a shot and try to resuscitate it. I tried to go live last night. I wasn't feeling too good. I had some computer drama. And let's see if I edit this, will it work? Remove destination and then put it back. All right, StreamYard, I see you. Remove and then put it back. See. Let's see what happens. Save change. And edit and add one more. Let's see if this works. Save changes. All right. Let's see if it worked. All right. Either way, good to see you, Gabe. I hope you've had a good week. I hope you're well. Trying to do all the things, man. Trying to do all the things. But anyway, let's dispense with the pleasantries and get on with the show. Thanks for being here. Oh, that worked for a change, so that's good. So yeah, let's do the damn thing. It has been a very heavy week in the world, in the life, and we've lost some rock soldiers, as I'm fond of saying. It's never a fun thing. People are getting older and older, and we're losing some people. We just passed the 1-year anniversary of Ozzy passing away, which I took very hard, to be honest. It was very tough on me. So, yeah. What's up, Carla? What's up, I Love Gore? Thanks for being here. Feel free to do the things. Give us all the likes and the such. Let's do this thing here. I'll expand this guy. Here's the announcements. Again, I got married 2 weeks ago. Still over the moon about it. I love you, wife, if you're out there. I don't know if you're watching right now, maybe not. But we are having the best time. We're having just the best time. We got to 2 million views on YouTube. Thanks to some of you. Thanks for being here. If you've ever watched our videos, if you ever helped make our videos, thanks, Spooky Graves, for being here also. And Dev Remegesulu, what's up? What's up? So yeah, we hit a big milestone on the tube of you. We've got almost 7,000 subscribers on YouTube. I like it to be more. We are in the midst of a big giveaway. We are giving away VIP experiences and merch to the AC/DC pop-up store in San Francisco. I will personally be on hand Monday night in San Francisco for this. I'll be checking it out, taking in all the, it's kind of like an AC/DC museum and an advanced chance to get merch early without the whole crowds. They're in town this week coming in Santa Clara, which is about an hour and a half south of San Francisco, where the 49ers play football. And then I'm going to go to the pop-up shop, take a bunch of pictures and video, hang out, get some merch. The store is opened in every city, I think 9 a.m. to 11 p.m. every day that the band is in your town. So, maybe something to check out and do, even if you can't go to the shows. And there's giveaways and chances to win merch and tickets, which would be pretty sick. We just announced our album of the month is the current and final, probably, and lost Butthole Surfers album. After The Astronaut, this was the album they were supposed to put out after Electric Larryland, and the song Pepper blew up. And hey, Jesus Christ, our superstar, what's up, supercar? Butthole Surfers was supposed to put this album out, and Capitol Records refused to put it out and shelved the album and refused to let them put it out. Some of those songs have been out in different forms. What's up, GG fan? Welcome. I hope you've had a good week. Hope everything's good. Dark Bohemian is here. AZ Cat is here. What up, what up? Good to see you all. Red X, Rich Jones. So yeah, Butthole Surfers. Go check that out. If you haven't listened to them, go check it out. What do I Crippling Alcoholism's Cam Girl. I don't know if I'm caught up on that. Do tell. Drop another comment, Sebastian, on Facebook, and inform me. I do my best to stay up on everything, but, invariably you're just going to miss some stuff sometimes, We're still trying to raise awareness for Eugene Robinson of Boonwell, and also formerly of Oxbow, a hugely influential and important band to me and hardcore fans. Eugene had a stroke. He's living in Spain. There's links in all our descriptions and our link trees where you can support these things. So we're trying to raise money for Eugene. Luke Heller, I'm sick of it all, died of cancer, man. He really had a rough go. I'm from New York City originally, in case you didn't know. And I really love that band. It was a really foundational, important band. He was always really nice and kind. A lot of these hardcore guys, maybe they seem outwardly mean and tough and shit, but he was really smart, kind, and nice. And cancer sucks. He was just a little bit older than me. 59 years old. For Luke. And this is a really cool picture of him back in, I want to say 2018, 2019 by Meg Loyal, photographer for Ghost Cult, who I used to work with very closely back in the day. Oh, man, here's another one. Glenn Hansard, the legendary Irish folk rocker, died. Most people know him from being in the movie The Commitments, which was a lot of fun. Also in the movie Once, where him and his partner from Swell Season the Academy Award for Best Song for the movie Once. He had a very long, awesome career, and he had a motorcycle crash a few days ago and passed away. Really terrible, only 56. Again, all these guys are around my age. This was a real tough one. Also, TJ Catalfo, sorry if I said that wrong, played drums for Ruiner. He had moved into hospice with cancer. There's still a meal train campaign on to help his family. You know, there are all these different fundraising social media platforms, and Meal Train is a good one because you know, like, what it's going to. The money is going to buy meals for his loved ones who are now left without their, you know, provider and you know, head of household. And then another one that was, you know, a real surpriser, Danny Lomeli of Elysia suddenly died. I don't know what caused his death, but he was like 36 years old. They just played Hellfest. They just spent a year reunited, Elysia, as sort of a post-hardcore band. He was really talented. Seems very sad that he passed away. And, you know, just very sad. There's still a GoFundMe there for him. I don't know if I have the image here or not, but Neill Jameson of Krieg, we've been talking a lot about him the last few months. His wife, Nikki, passed away this week after her second bout of cancer. She was 45. And Neill is the full-time caretaker for his child who has special needs. Kevin Clement died. He was Mr. Chiller of Chiller Theater. If you were from the East Coast, especially, you know about the Chiller Theater horror movie conventions. He was really a really iconic and central figure in bringing together that community. Very, very sad to hear that he passed away. Kavinsky, the DJ, passed away. Another young guy, very sad. Also, Mei Nekazuki died. She's a metal musician from Japan, from The Last Diamond. Very young, like 28 years old. Super sad. And just in some music history and some rock and metal history, Sinead O'Connor passed away 3 years ago at age 56. Very sad. If you're out there and you're struggling, you know, do hit us up. You can always come into our DMs and, you know, ask, you know, say, hey, I need help. I'm not doing great out here. Can somebody help me? And we will help you. Our DMs are always open here at Ghost Cult, in case you want to know. Pee Wee Herman died 3 years ago. This is another one that I find really just shocking and hard. On to some happier news. Celebrating birthdays this week. Geddy Lee of Rush. Really glad they're back and doing their thing. I know they're playing New York City this weekend. James Hetfield of Metallica's got a birthday this week coming up. Matt Shadows, a.k.a. Matt Sanders, M. Shadows of Avenged Sevenfold, celebrated a birthday today. Elisa White-Glutz, now of Dragon Force, formerly of Arch Enemy, celebrates a birthday today. Joe Elliott of Def Leppard's got a birthday this weekend. I love this shirt he's wearing, which appears to be Queen Elizabeth, but also looks like Ziggy Stardust. Really great. Some albums that celebrated an anniversary this week in metal history. Sabotage by Black Sabbath. A bunch of Metallica versaries this week. Metallica played their album release party for Kill 'Em All this week in 1983 with Raven for the beginning of the Kill 'Em All for One tour at Royal Manor in New Jersey. Obviously, Kill 'Em All was released. Also, Ride the Lightning came out this week in metal history. And, of course, Lollapalooza kicked off this week in metal history with Metallica in 1996, kind of led Perry Farrell to quitting Lollapalooza. Lollapalooza is taking place this weekend in Chicago. Metallica, the Ramones, Soundgarden, Rancid, Shaolin Monks, Screaming Trees, Ben Fold, Soul Coughing, Corner Shop, Psychotica, Gwar. Unbelievable lineup. I saw that at Randall's Island in New York City. Whitechapel released their classic debut, Somatic Defilement. It's really their only true death metal album, but it's a banger. Go look it up. Testament released the Dark Roots of the Earth album this week in metal history. I was a huge fan. Still am. AC/DC's Highway to Hell, the last album with Bon Scott. My other podcast just did a run-through of the early AC/DC stuff with Bon. Pretty amazing. Also, another Metallica-versary. This week, exactly, in metal history, Enter Sandman was released, much to everybody's chagrin. I know it's like one of the biggest songs ever now, but what a tremendous, insane, huge thing that became, huh? I remember hearing it the first time. I was like, what happened to my band? Where is the band that made One? I don't know. Linkin Park released their first remix album, Reanimation, this week in metal history. Alice Cooper's Trash album had an anniversary this week. AC/DC Back in Black also. Lamb of God, Sturm und Drang. This is the album that came out after Randy was imprisoned in a Czech Republic prison for attempted murder. He beat the rap. Five Finger Death Punch, The Way of the Fist, their debut album, came out this week in metal history 25 years ago. Korn's self-titled 8th album, which has Evolution on it. Pretty amazing. All right, and there's the tip menu. Again, if you're feeling tipsy, we appreciate it. Our everydayers and real ones don't have to tip, but if you're feeling tipsy, that's cool. I'll drop that also in the I'll drop that in the menu in the comments here. Fire away. All right. On with more stuff. The features this week here at the channel, in addition to that giveaway for the AC/DC pop-up, ran a brand new interview with Kevin Camo of Crown Lands, the progressive rock band's new album Apocalypse is out now on Inside Out Music. Same label as Dream Theater, Devin Townsend, etc. Great interview with Kevin. He's super talented and fun. We also dropped a new interview with Blythe of No Cure. The awesome hardcore band dropped their first album for Nuclear Blast. Really exciting. Recent other interviews include Gus Rios of Left to Die for the Knights of Unicron soundtrack and Transformers the movie Reformatted. Again, my Butthole Surfers interview with Paul Leary. I urge you to go check out that album and check out this interview. YouTube is kind of shadow banning us, which kind of sucks for this because of the name Butthole. Fucking stupid. Absolutely fucking stupid. Juvenile and dumb, YouTube. We just wrapped up on the other podcast a series on Deicide, all the classic first 4 Deicide albums detailed and deep dived. And this week, we kicked off our new series on Guns N' Roses. Starting out with the classic Appetite for Destruction. We're going to go through GNR Lies, Use Your Illusion 1 and 2 in the next bunch of weeks. And again, just, ever since 2020, when the world shut down and nobody could tour or play gigs, we have been doing free promo for bands. We review 500 to 600 albums a year, but we also give little shout outs and name checks in our YouTube videos. So I always like to make sure everybody's aware of that. All right, now it's time for the rest of the news rundown, and we're going to talk about metal festivals. Fairy Ring is here. Daryl Jones is here. New Yorker is here. What up, what up? Down East Doomer is here. Hey. All right. So, metal festivals this weekend already underway. Wacken Open Air's 31st edition is happening right now. Def Leppard, Sabaton, Powerwolf, Judas Priest, Arch Enemy, Sabotage, In Flames, Saxon Emperor, Lamb of God, so many killer bands. Sepultura's last ever Germany show, Europe, Black Label Society, Electric, a whole bunch of people, Triptychon, Hatebreed, Bleed Within, Paradise Lost, hey, Therapy. Good stuff. Beyond the Gates is also this weekend. Emperor is closing this weekend. Blood Incantation is tonight, or was tonight. Emperor is closing out the weekend tomorrow, and we got some special Emperor news soon. Blues is this weekend. I know Smashing Pumpkins already played. not as alternative rock anymore. And I know they're having some weather problems in Chicago because of the fires in Canada and the air quality. Turnstile is one of the bands this weekend also on Sunday. So I'm sure we'll see some videos and things pop up from the handful of rock bands that are still playing Lollapalooza. Also this weekend in Alberta, Canada, Loud Hell Open Air Festival with Fallujah, Elysia, Summoning the Lich, Crimson Shadows, and a bunch of others. They're playing. That's really cool. We are a media partner of this festival. Boards X has added a bunch of new bands. Very excited about that festival taking place in the UK, Scotland's oldest metal festival, September 18th and 19th. Bloodstock is just about upon us next weekend. We'll be covering it once again. I might jump on and do a whole preview of the festival this week as a live stream. Aftershock is coming up this fall. I'm hoping to go back myself. We shall see if I make it. Arctangent is coming up in a few weeks after Bloodstock. We're looking to cover that again this year. Hell's Heroes announced that they are coming back to their 9th ever festival next spring. Fire in the Mountains just concluded, and they have announced their Winter Mountain Weekend Retreat at the Haunted Stanley Hotel in Estes, Colorado, right outside of Denver. That hotel is the inspiration for The Shining, one of my favorite Stephen King things ever. Pretty damn cool. Already announced for the winter meeting. Again, I don't know about Denver in the winter, but I kind of want to go to this. Wolves in the Throne Room, Yob, Sabrosa, Fife, amazing, and more to come. Warped Tour Montreal is around the corner in a couple of weeks. I haven't heard back yet, and we were hoping to send somebody out there. Wayne Edwards, we'll see what happens. But I do want to talk about Warped Tour Long Beach that just ended. I know tickets went on sale today, and I was very sad to hear about a young person that lost their life. They had suffered a traumatic brain injury at Lollapalooza, and it's no fault of the festival. I mean, these, people get hurt or they stage dive, and, you never know exactly what's going to happen. But, I don't know. We're hoping to still find out what exactly happened. Happened during Thrice's set. David Granado Jr. was the person injured and lost their life. We're deeply sorry. A festival's supposed to be the best time of your life, and you're not supposed to die at a music festival or anything. We're supposed to take care of each other at the festivals, and very sad that that this person passed. So I don't know. I hope we get some answers, because you hate to see it. You hate to see it. Anybody to lose their life enjoying what they love. All right, that was all the festival news. There'll be more on that next week. Also, Paris, what up? What up? Coming up, obviously, big time news the last few weeks. System of a Down and Faith No More confirmed to play Australia and New Zealand. We knew we were going to get some Faith No More tour dates soon. We broke this story. It blew up all over the web. I was really happy about this. I can't wait for Faith No More to come back. I know the tickets were astronomical, and once again, people were mad at Ticketmaster, big time mad. But my hope is that Faith No More will do probably what I would imagine will be a headline tour or festival headline dates, and then maybe some headline stuff. But listen, let them get all the money they can. They'll get to play an hour. I know people are concerned that it's not like a full show for them if System is headlining, but System of a Down is a much huger band than Faith No More. Maybe they hadn't been broken up for so many years, off and on. Tomahawk and Melvins are underway right now. That's coming here in a few weeks. I'd like to go. I'm not sure yet what's going on. Rob Zombie and Marilyn Manson have kicked off their co-headlining tour with The Who and Orgy. Coven is over in Europe doing headline dates and festival appearances in the next couple of weeks. Jinx Dawson, The Ageless wonder. 6 Feet Under and Cataclysm continue to tour through mid-August. We just covered that a few weeks ago. Hatebreed is continuing the Summer Slaughter tour with Devourment and Incantation and Snuffed on Sight. There will be a Jennifer Finch tribute night. We talked about the L7 bassist who died of brain cancer not that, just a week and a half ago. There's a London tribute night taking place soon. Drowning Pool and Saliva will do a co-headline tour celebrating 25 years of Sinner and Every 6 Seconds. I actually just got Sinner on vinyl. It's here somewhere. I just got it. Expect a review and an unboxing from me soon. Bo Looters is going to be given a memorial gathering under the Chicago Stars featuring Harm's Way, Twitching Tongues, Linda Claire, Weekend Nachos, August 29th at the Bohemian National Cemetery. So that's in Chicago. Rip Bo. What a great dude. Voivod and Bat have announced another leg of their co-headlining tour. What a great time it is for Municipal Waste side projects. That band is kind of on a little bit of a hiatus, but Iron Reagan is back with a new album coming soon. And Bat is touring, and so that's really cool. Gangrene will play 40 years of Wasted Nights, 86 to 26. It's already kicked off in the last couple of days. They got a couple more dates to go. Super fun and interesting nonetheless. With the FUs and Trees. So what a great lineup that is. Wow. All right. Okie dokie. Hi Vampiro, RC, what up, what up? And Goldsmith is here. What up, what up? Danzig, once again, tickets are on sale now for Danzig's handful of headline dates coming up soon. That big show in LA at Acid Bath Twin Temple is a huge one. I'm interested in that, or possibly another Acid Bath headline show on the West Coast. Since Fire in the Mountains just happened, and we talked about that a minute ago, some of those bands are doing some extra headline. Some extra headline dates. Psy is one of those bands. They don't come to the U.S. that often. The progressive stoner doom avant-garde metal band. They're wrapping up their U.S. tour with some dates today and tomorrow with Dreadnought. Also, Neurosis returned to the stage at Fire in the Mountains, and we know they've announced a bunch more shows, mostly opening for Acid Bath. This looks really cool. Fight to Unite in October in the LA area. Oh, this is Vegas, Punk Rock Bowling, Lambrini Girls, and Dillinger 4. 35 years of Fat Records. At the Belasco, downtown LA. That's what it is. So Lambrini Girls, Spiritual Cramp, who I love, Subfort, Mass Generation Suicida, Pistol Grip, Toy Guitar, Spunk, XCOM, that's Revel Ian's band, Scott Ian's kid. Doll Riot, Teenage Bottle Rocket, Dead to Me, Swingin' Utters, Nerf Herder, Cobra Skulls, The Last Gang, Western Addiction, great band, love them. Gen Pop, Sevende, many cool punk rock bands. That's really cool. And again, Neurosis, this is the set list they played at Fire in the Mountains. I'm looking forward to more from them soon. And once again, we're at about the halfway point of the show. Thanks again for tuning in, and we greatly appreciate you all for watching. Fable Beard, man. My beard game is on top because of Fable Beard. Not to mention, I just got an awesome Fable Beard new deodorant, the Marksman. I've been using the Beard Wash Marksman scent for about a year and a half, and now I have the deodorant. It kicks ass. Get hooked up from Fable Beard with the link in our description. We're also part of the Lamb Goat Media Network. Lamb Goat, the much meaner version of Ghost Cult. Check it out. Pretty damn cool. They do a lot of stuff. They broke that story wide open and are trying to spread awareness about that guy that passed away at Warped Tour. So I appreciate them they're trying. They're trying their best. All right. Also, a shout out to my homie Craig Caruso of Caruso Apps for keeping us going. And again, if you're watching this, except you on TikTok, you are watching this through the magic of StreamYard. Probably going to make a move to Riverside next year or sooner. Looking good, looking good. A little bit of a mess going on behind me. I don't know why. But anyway, thanks for being here. Thanks, everybody, for watching. Let's do this. I love this Mitch McConnell and his wife kind of picture of them as Angus and Brian Johnson because they're older than dirt. Mitch is not alive. Of all the things going on in the country right now, what a high ass mess we have here. But anyway, let's get on with the rest of the news. And the big news tonight, I was ready to kind of go live and get ready to have some dinner with my wife, and we got this TMZ report that Sid is out of Slipknot for the first time in almost, since he joined the band in 1998. Then Jim Root posts like, "Oh, don't believe everything you read. He's not out of the band." But we've been seeing and hearing some stuff about Sid for a while. He was kind of leaving Slipknot. Like, he was not in a good place with the band, and I just find it extremely interesting that that there was not really a big source about this story, but like there had been kind of like a post that Slipknot made that said was out of the band, and then took it down a couple weeks ago. So I don't know. Is he in? Is he out? He might be out. I don't know. We'll follow the story all weekend and see if the band makes a statement or not. But I don't know. It doesn't bode well. Other important big news, Tony Iommi has announced a brand new solo album. I think he was waiting for the anniversary of Ozzy's passing to, sort of go by before he dropped the single. It features Jorn Lande, who's a great Norwegian heavy metal singer. I heard the first song I liked that. I wasn't super stoked at first, and now I'm a little more excited about it, so that's cool. Sublime's self-titled debut album, produced by Paul Leary of Butthole Surfers, has surpassed 10 million sales. Diamond. That is a legit number. That's not just, streaming numbers or hype or whatever. So congrats to Sublime. Took 30 years. Really excited for new Sublime music with the son, Jacob Bradley Noel's son. Metallica's For Whom the Bell Tolls has been given the instrumental treatment for the Gears of War video game. Gears of War has always had metal bands, including Megadeth and Avenged Sevenfold, in their soundtracks before. So very cool. The big news that we were waiting for from Hole, big shout out to Phil. It's true, man. I saw him live. He did the job. He's great. He's really great. We never really got to see Bradley a lot, except for, a couple of tours. Hole is going to reissue all 3 of their 90s albums on vinyl with all completely remastered. I know we were hoping for a reunion tour. Doesn't seem to be the case, but I know that Courtney Love was finishing up a memoir and a brand new Hole album or a solo album. So I would be down for any of those things, but I may need to get these Hole albums. What else? Tom Morello announced a new solo album. He actually put a whole band together for this with his son Roman, who has written half the songs and plays a lot of lead guitar on the album, apparently. So really cool that Tom is getting out there with Roman. This was a bit of a surprise, a huge surprise. Andy LaRock is out of King Diamond for the first time in 40 years. He it seems like it's amicable. Everybody said all the right things. And Andy said, look, I was just going in a different direction with my life. And I have a new band, Lex Legion, this band of former King Diamond members with a new singer. And King, doesn't tour much. And we keep hearing there's going to be a new King Diamond or Merciful Fate album soon. But soon when? It's been years. And I'm glad I got to see Merciful Fate and King Diamond in the last few years. But, man, What a shocker. And Gus G is coming in to replace Andy, which is super surprising. I don't know that he's quite would have been my pick for that, but like super interesting. Danzig is directing a new movie for his Hellmask comic book, based on the Verotic Comics Sword and Sorcery character. It is scheduled for a 2027 release. Let the carnage begin, says the graphic here. Glenn's last couple of movies were pretty badly derided, but like I get it. I understand what he's going for. So some club news, man. The Parkside in San Francisco finally shuttered. I took this photo. I also took this photo. This will be condos you can't afford. They lost their lease, and the condos are indeed going up in a place that used to be an amazing venue for punk and metal. Very sad. Barcade was not necessarily a music venue, but was kind of like the after show hang in Brooklyn. And they have announced their lease is not being renewed at the end of this year. So they have about, a few hundred days left. And then they're done. Very sad. Also, 222 Ormsby, which is the very last DIY venue in Pittsburgh, might be closed because they're being sued by a young fan that went to a punk show there and got injured. Hopefully they don't lose their space, because that would suck. Pittsburgh represent. Silver Tomb, which features ex-Typo Negative members Kenny Hickey and Johnny Kelly, dropped a brand new song today and video, and announced their new album coming soon on Steamhammer SPV label. Another band with new music coming soon is the stoner rock band Stake. They have a new album coming out on Ripple Music. Super excited. The frontman of Stake is also, the guitar player of Stake is also the founder of Desert Fest. So that's your Stoner Doom legend status people right there. Good to see you, Eli. What up? Eli Santana is here, the alien Satan. Unto Others is in the studio right now, making their debut album for Black to Black. That's the same label that has Megadeth, Biohazard, and the upcoming album by Forbidden and Creeping Death. Post Malone was on Sesame Street this week, hanging out with Elmo. Good for him. He keeps supposedly teasing a return to hip-hop because the country stuff's not working out, probably. Chelsea Wolfe dropped another new song and has announced their new album, The Dark, which features appearances from Richard Fortus of Nine Inch Nails and Kylan Mikla members. This is the feel-good story of the week. I try to have one of these every week, It's easy to have the negative things. The negative stories get a lot of clicks. I don't care about that as much, but I want to have the feel-good stories. And here's a feel-good story, in case you were not aware. A few months ago, maybe about 5-6 months ago, we dropped a story about Cameron Heathcote, who was the singer of American Head Charge, who was like a turn-of-the-century new metal band. They opened for Slayer, they went on Mayhem Fest and other things, and they signed a record deal like maybe 10, 11 years ago to Napalm Records, but it never worked out. Cameron was on the YouTube documentary series Soft White Underbelly. He was homeless and on drugs, fentanyl and cocaine and things on Skid Row in LA. And he is no longer homeless. We found out this week that he got his temporary residence card for Los Angeles. So he has housing and health care and benefits. So he's on his way back to, some semblance of a regular life. And I'm really happy about this story because you don't hear a lot of good stories. Right now, it's a lot of negativity and shit out there. So, who knows? Maybe someday he can make a return to music and be killer, but proud of that guy. What else? Here's Duff McKagan signing like 1 million Funkos of Duff Funko Pops. Everybody knows my love of Funko Pops. I have a huge collection here at the house. Last week, we brought you the news that Ramones were getting a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Now, Linkin Park has been announced to get a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame next year. That's really cool. Devilskin is a band, and somebody shit in the pit. Somebody took a log of poo out of their ass. As a person with some stomach problems, I can understand if you got to go, you have an accident, it happens. But somebody took a shit in the mosh pit and everybody was stepping on it and it was getting on everybody's shoes and dresses and clothes. That's horrible. It was the size of a shoe. I don't know what size shoes you wear, but the size of my shoe would be like a 10.5, man. Very scary stuff. Cold Cave has done a remix of a recent Mesa track. Everybody knows what a big fan I am of the Italian Doom band. We had Comic-Con last weekend in San Diego, and a lot of comic-related things happened, including Bruce Dickinson jumping on stage with Billy Joe from Green Day's covers band to do All the Young Dudes by Mott the Hoople. Really cool. Madball dropped a new album and a new music video. Very cool for the New York hardcore band Legends. Twin Temple went from like 3 weeks ago being disgraced and kicked off a tour from a country artist to rebooking a new tour, doing these shows with Danzig, and then playing on The Daily Show. Amazing. Krallis, the great black and avant-garde band, has announced a new album. I can't read whatever the fuck this thing says on this album cover, but I'm excited for a new album from them. There's so much going on. So much going on in music right now. It's insane. Let me know what new, there's a lot of new stuff we're going to talk about. New music has been announced and coming out. What albums are you waiting for to be announced? What albums haven't been announced yet that you want to hear, that you haven't had a chance to hear or, hear anything from yet? Because, there's so much stuff coming out from September to August. Just a very exciting time. Here's Insomnium. They announced a new album coming out on Century Media, the great melodic death metal band. Speaking of new stuff, Emperor, who I mentioned, is headlining Beyond the Gates this weekend, as well as Wacken, because you could fly from Norway to Germany in a few hours. They announced a new line of merch, like anniversary-themed merch for Emperor. That's really cool. Meshuggah dropped their 2 new remastered albums on Reigning Phoenix Music. I believe we're going to start hearing about some new Meshuggah next year. Would be cool. And that's all the news stories. Let's talk about the ass clown of the week. And this is a lot more serious than an ass clown. This is a horrible person, man. I never liked 30 Seconds to Mars. I don't know about you, but I was never a big Jared Leto fan. I love Fight Club, but I don't particularly care for him. He's an okay actor. I thought he was good in Tron. And the new documentary came out, and it's like there's countless allegations against Jared Leto for, say, and weird culty-like things and creepy shit. And people have been coming out of the woodwork kind of telling these stories about Jared. So I think he's categorically denied any allegations against him. It's horrible. That's not good enough these days, man. You gotta come with receipts. People have receipts against you and you don't have any leg to stand on. It's kind of sad and crazy. But anyway, ass clown of the week, horrible person of the week. Just what a fucking hot mess. All right. Now it's time for New Music Friday. Let us quickly blast through the list of new music that came out today, this weekend, for you to pick up and spin all the essential rock and metal stuff. We do these lists every week. Shout out to my partner, Omar Cordy, who does tons of work to put these together. I also might be starting a new, I might do like a little social media piece of content every month, the essential rock and metal releases for every month. I might start one this weekend. New records coming out. Atatraxia on Century Media Records for some death metal. Bear McCreary, you know him from soundtracks like The Walking Dead. His new album, The Singularity, Eclipsis is out this week. The Body, Master, We Perish, re-release on Thrill Jockey Records. Ceremonial Worship Between Sleep and Death on Eternal Death Records. Our Homie and Yours, Chris Caffrey of Sabotage, Faces, re-release on Metalville Records. Complexant, Apex, Bleeding Art Collective for some more death metal. Disfiguring the Goddess, Bloom, Seek and Strike Records for some deathcore. Donnie V, Beautiful Things, that's the Enough's Enough lead guitarist on Wicked Cool Records for some rock. Dumbwaiter Change on Ocean Records for some avant-garde music. Let's see, Finster Force Still on AOP Records. Forced Entry As Above, So Below, re-release on M Theory Recordings. Future Palace Resurgence on Century Media Records. Lalu, A Mythmaker's Demise for some progressive rock on Frontiers SRL. Limbonic Art, Arcane Past, The Celestial Grimoire on Carrick Records. Rat, Dancing Undercover, re-release on Rhino Records. And Rhino reissues are always just a fucking banger. Let's see what else. Scattered Remnants, Procreating Mass Carnage, Inherent Perversion, Destined to Fail, re-release on Redefining Darkness, great death metal label. Matt, Sinner of Sinner and Primal Fear, Boom Bang Goodbye on Raining Phoenix Music for some hard rock. Southpaw, The Standard on Spine Farm Records. Tim Montana for some post-grunge, Entire State of Tim Montana on BMG. And Viande, Monument Al Morts on Transcending Obscurity Records. That is a great usual death metal and black and death metal label. So we're at the last part of the show in a very manageable 47 minutes so far, and I am going to do my haul from Amoeba Music a few weeks back. I'm still trying to get my other camera angle and my other lights up, but I got a big haul of stuff. So if you're not familiar, Amoeba Records is a big chain in Los Angeles and San Francisco, and there's one in Berkeley, California. Amoeba kind of looks like the old Tower Records with the red and the yellow. They have everything you can imagine under the sun, and I went with my best friend Kurt, and we had a great time there. It was just epic going there together, and I'm going to unbox some of the stuff I have from there. I'm going to go in reverse order. I got some singles and some 7-inches. First things first is this Ramones 7-inch on Sub Pop Records. This is got the Zodiac drawing and lyrics on the back. Carbona, Not Glue, backed with I Can't Be. Sub Pop Records 666. This was $11. I'm super hyped to get this in my collection. Another sort of 7-inch that I got is this awesome split with the Atlas Moth and Wolfhammer. Big fan here of both those bands. Wolfhammer is kind of not doing too much these days after they lost their singer and ended up joining Skeleton Witch. I got this awesome AC/DC. I collect these AC/DC rock and roll comics, or all these rock and roll comics. I saw a Prince one in a comic store that was $50. I was like, oh man, I can't really afford this shit, but I would love to have it. Now, I don't know if you guys are readers of Decibel Magazine. I am a subscriber. I always thought that I might write for them someday. I love Albert, and I love their, we have the shared kind of ethos. So this is the newest issue of Decibel Magazine with the flexi disc from Nunslaughter, new album out now, Satanic Chaos Legions. But one of the things they had in the metal section at Amoeba is these old flexies. And I was like, oh, you know what? It'd be kind of fun to collect some of these. So here's Tribulation doing some covers, Misfit covers of Devil Lock and Death Comes Ripping. Sick. Here's another one. I thought these were kind of rare and worth having. Here's Gates of Slumber, the Jury, a band I'm a huge fan of, formerly of San Francisco. Here is the Cold Slither single from a year ago, Cobra Island. It's just got a music video for this week. Very cool. On the back end of Comic-Con. And let's see. I think there's one more here. Here's an awesome Dead Guy 7-inch. I didn't even know this existed. I'm so pumped. I just recently interviewed Dead Guy. They were our 1000th interview for Ghost Cult. And then I got 2 LPs kind of at a discount. I got the 25th anniversary reissue of Elysia. This is one of their first albums. I am so pumped to have this. I'm a huge fan. They recently came back. I love the foil stamp here on this vinyl. I am hoping to see them at some point. They are playing Aftershock. They were also opening for Acid Bath. And then also, this was a 2025 reissue of Black Breath's real classic album, the sort of crusty D-beat, kind of a cross between black metal and hardcore. Really great album. And I just couldn't be more tickled to add these to my collection. I'm hoping next week to get the other camera angle up, and then I can really unbox and show off things like vinyl and things like that, and all the cool things that come with these things. I've been getting some stuff right before I moved in. I picked up a bunch of things. So, and then maybe I'll do a haul from my AC/DC merch if I should be getting some merch from that store. So yeah, that's the show tonight. Again, in a very manageable 51, 52 minutes. Thanks everybody for watching. Again, take care of each other out there. If you're going to a show or you got something going on, if somebody falls down the pit, pick them up. Make sure your friends have water. Don't go to a concert or a festival and just get hammered. Make sure you hydrate a little bit. Make sure you get home in one piece so you keep coming back. Have a great rest of your weekend. I'm Keefe. I'm going to hit the bricks and go to sleep in a minute. But I really appreciate everybody for watching. Thanks for being here. Thanks, Gabe. Thanks, everybody, for watching on Instagram and TikTok and Facebook and everywhere else. Thanks for being here. Greatly appreciate you all. And as we say every week at this juncture of the show, it's a tough time in the world, so take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. Stay as metal as humanly possible. I'm going to get out of here. You guys, take it easy. Take care.